ライオン神エスカノール様だ。震えるさ。
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Critic Alex. This is my free daily summon, and we got some Ruin. Nice. So today I want to talk about Blue Demon Melly and Blue Lillia. And I know they're not on global yet, and I know a lot of people make these kinds of videos like this character is coming or this character is coming to try to get clicks and stuff like that. I'm not exactly doing that. I'm sort of doing that, but I'm not exactly doing that. So we do know, yes, Green Lillia. We do know that Blue Lillia and Blue Demon Melly will be coming soon. We don't know exactly how soon. I don't know. We're less than 3 weeks away from the 100-day celebration, and from what we know from certain other things that you can find online, there's probably going to be both Blue Demon Melly and Blue Lillia in the 100-day banner, or in some sort of 100-day banner around the 100 days. So we're very close. We're, like I said, less than 3 weeks, probably closer to 2 weeks now away from that. So why am I talking about these characters now? Because we still can't get them for at least 2 weeks, so what's the big rush, right? Well, the thing is, the thing that I was thinking about is that they're both good farming units. Now, especially, Blue Demon Melly is especially good as a farming unit. Obviously, Blue Lillia makes Blue Demon Melly better, and I don't really want to spend the video explaining why, but essentially, Blue Demon Melly has crazy AoE attacks, and he has high pierce rate. You guys know AoE and pierce rate, like Hauser, right? It goes together like peanut butter and jelly, and not Valenti. And Blue Lillia's passive increases your team's pierce rate, so that's just god tier synergy right there. And so they become a sort of 1-2 punch along with Hauser, because Hauser loves pierce rate, so more pierce rate is great for him. They become an explosive trio for farming. Now here's the thing: if you look at my farming team. Okay, this is my farming team right now. I got 2 blue units. I got Blue Lillia, Blue Guilla. Also L's in her name, yes, Alex. And I've got Blue Weinheidt. So the reason why I wanted to make this video was basically if you haven't yet, or if you are about to invest in these characters, Blue Guilla and Blue Weinheidt, consider not investing in them. Now there is still some argument for investing in Blue Guilla because she's still the fastest, I believe, for the red book farming, because of the way her ult works and the way that you can rush through the stages. And Blue Guilla is still amazing because she is an association for Jericho, and that's great for Knighthood boss and other content. So Blue Guilla definitely still has value, but Blue Weinheidt, there's no other versions of Weinheidt, so you're not even getting other cosmetics like you can for red Guilla, and then I believe there's also a Halloween Guilla that comes out in the future, the cat Guilla. So yeah, Weinheidt, poor Weinheidt, there's no other versions of him. He's not very good. He's not very good now. He's probably like the 3rd best farmer, and he's gonna get worse. He's gonna get substantially worse when Blue Demon Melly comes out. Blue Demon Melly basically crushes him, because the nice thing about Weinheidt's not bad. I'm not trying to crap on him, but the nice thing about him is he increases all allies' pierce rate by 8% at the end of every turn. That stacks, so you get up to 40% more pierce. Sorry, I said Blue Demon Melly craps on him. I mean Blue Lillia craps on him. Because Blue Lillia basically gives you a much better version of his unique, because you just straight up will flat give you pierce rate. You don't necessarily give 80%, get her to 80%, which would give 40%, which is what this gives. But even if you have Blue Lillia at 60%, that's still automatically giving you 30% on turn 1. Whereas it's going to take him multiple turns, but it's going to take him 3-4 turns to catch up to Lillia, and by that time the farming should already be done. So in terms of efficiency, Blue Lillia just completely eclipses Blue Weinheidt's passive. In terms of damage, Blue Demon Melly completely blitzes and eclipses Weinheidt's damage. So he really just gets completely outclassed by these other characters. Now, of course, if you're not going to pull for Blue Demon Melly and Blue Lillia, or you're not going to get them, then maybe you should still consider building up Weinheidt. I'm not saying he's an absolute horrible choice. I don't regret building him up. He has served his purpose. But I am trying to, if I can, save some of you from investing more resources than you should, because there's just amazing blue farming units around the corner. People always say, even for new players starting now, invest in Hauser, because there isn't a unit that comes out and has come out in JP yet that actually can farm faster than Hauser. He's still that good, and especially in his own color, there isn't a unit, right? There's great units that can farm in green and blue, but there still haven't been better AoE red farming units. Yeah, Derriere is great for single target, but Hauser's still the boss for that reason. Unlike Weinheidt. Weinheidt is not even the best now, arguably not even the 2nd best now, and he's going to get eclipsed. So yeah, that's my first piece of advice for the video, is especially for Weinheidt, and I can relate because I've considered many times bringing him to 70 or 75. He does slow down some of my farming where he almost one-shots, but then they leave the mobs with an extra, you know, shred of HP, 1 bar of HP, one little pixel, and then we have to go through another turn, and that's 1 turn, sure, on 1 stage, but then you multiply that for an overnight farm, and suddenly Weinheidt's costing you like 10, 20, 30 extra runs. So it adds up over time, especially if you are pushing for really high placement, if you're really trying to catch up or get ahead of other players. It really is going to be a big difference. So I have halted my evolution and investment in my farming team because I'm going to be going heavy diamond-wise in for Blue Lillia and Blue Demon Melly. I can afford to do that. I'm not necessarily saying you can't, but I still think it's something that you should consider doing. Now, I have a couple more tips for you, and this involves Blue Demon Melly and Blue Lillia. So if you have no, you know, if you're definitely not going to get them, I don't know why you wouldn't try to get them, but if for some reason you know you're not going to get them, then you can probably stop watching. But for this, I'm going to refer to sgsgc.gg, which is this amazing curated website by a bunch of cool people, including Sekapoko. And we're on the JP server, or the JP server, the JP version. And so we're checking out Blue Demon Melly here, and the reason why I'm saying this is because, I mean, you can check out his skills here, and you can read up on why he's so amazing here. This is part of the reason why he's so amazing, and also just the crazy damage and the crazy AOE. But what I want to focus on here is the associations. You can start building up, or you can start at least saving coins for some of these characters if you were thinking about using them, especially for the SR characters. Now, this is not as important for whales, because for whales you're going to have pretty much every SR character at max 6/6, and so you'll have these associations right off the bat for him. But for you free-to-play or low-spending players, it may be important for you to save coins for either Red Elizabeth or Red Bond. I would probably say Red Elizabeth is better to get her alt maxed out. And that's going to give you not the best association, I would say. I mean, crit chances is going to be way better, but those are all SSR characters, so those are platinum coins that you're going to need for like go through and stuff like that. But I would say, you know, start, you know, prioritizing to save these coins, and if you pull them in the next couple of weeks, save them so that you can have a much higher association for Blue Demon Melly. It's going to give you much higher base stat conversion. Instead of 5%, it could be up to 10%, and that's going to help your farming go even faster. And then for Lillia, Lillia has the same associations as Blue Lillia. Here, same thing here. Blue Lillia, and this is what makes her so powerful for farming and PvP. The 50% of her pierce rate gets added, and she has a base pierce rate of 50%. So she flat gives you 25%. So actually, even if you don't give Lillia any pierce rate at all, she comes into the battle with basically 3 of Weinheidt's stacks by default. So she's literally 3 times as good on turn 1 as Weinheidt. Now, you know, she doesn't have 2 attack cards like Weinheidt, but you'll rely on the AI to sort that out in their own way when it's auto farming. So for Blue Lillia, what you want to do is you want to again save up associations for coins of the associated characters. Now, obviously, unless you're Seaton, you don't have many copies of Blue Hendrickson, but Green Hendrickson. And I actually lamented in a video recently that I took my Green Hendrickson not only up to UR, which was painful in and of itself to waste all those materials on such a smelly character, but I also took him to alt 6/6, and for the same reason, the association with Green Lillia, which is going to double for the association for Blue Lillia. So again, it's not necessarily the best. It's lifesteal instead of crit chance. It's not the best, but you also see that they share associations, right? So I believe you won't be able to put 2 Merlins. I could be wrong about that, actually. Can you put 2 Merlins? I think you can for associations. Maybe you know what? Actually, maybe you cannot. Maybe you cannot put 2 associations of the same character. This would be Green Liz Hawk. I don't think you can. Oh, you can. Okay. Well, if you have multiple, if you're somehow swimming in SSR coins and you have multiple alt levels on multiple Merlins, we don't even have Blue Merlin on global yet, but I'm referring to Red Merlin and Green Merlin, then that is another option for you, of course. But you know, on the other hand, Hendrickson is much cheaper as an SR character to save those coins, because they're basically just gold coins, and you'll still have that association, so you can build him up. Again, if you have the resources. Obviously, if you don't have the resources, I'm not telling you to go and spend them on a character that's weak like this just for the association. But these are things that you can do to prepare for the update, so you have less to do when the update actually lands, that has Blue Demon Melly, that has Blue Lillia. I'm not sure if it's going to be next week or the week after that, but it can't be much further than the week after next, because the 100 days is fast approaching. I don't even have Red Merlin. How tragic is that? I know. So with that being said, hopefully this sort of mini guide and sort of mini tip session for farming your farm team has been helpful. Obviously, there are different options for your farm team. This is not the only farm team. This is not even necessarily the best farm team for all content. But basically, when Blue Demon Melly and Blue Lillia drop, they will become the best farm team if you have them, along with Red Hauser for almost all content, because the pierce rate comp is just disgusting. And if you don't use him in PvP, you could even switch some of Hauser's gear off of pierce onto attack, and then he can become even more of a threat to even one-shot even faster with his ult and things like that. I don't necessarily know if that's the best possible setup for him, if someone has run the math with specifically Blue Lillia and Blue Demon Melly on the team, but then it also matters what gear you give Blue Lillia in the first place, right? If you have tons of pierce gear to give her to raise her pierce so that passive kicks in and gives everybody, 30, 40, 50% if you can rack her up to 100. So yeah, wanted to try to save you guys some materials if you were thinking about raising any of these characters up. You should also maybe give pause to raising up any farming characters right now, because we're on the cusp of huge characters. Global was lucky. Hauser, or not lucky, I don't know if it's the same on JP, but Hauser was here from the beginning, from the get-go. So right away when you started your account, you either re-rolled to try to get Hauser, or you immediately saved up your gold coins and then waited for him to be on discount to pick him up for the sole reason of him being the god tier farmer. We are now sort of coming around to that again, where god tier farming units are just on the horizon. So in the meantime, you should not be investing heavily into any other farming units besides Hauser, at least in my opinion. Not necessarily something you have to follow, just something I thought I would share with you guys. So let me know what you think of the ideas. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.